Hello, everybody, and welcome to a brand new live episode of Strong Style here on the Outlaw Nation. We appreciate you all taking time on a Saturday to hang out with us and talk a little pro wrestling, as the old men used to say back when I grew up, a little pro wrestling. We're going to get into all things going on in AEW, WWE, NXT, everything you can think of under the sun here. And let's introduce ourselves. I'm the Outlaw, John Rocha, joined as always by these two wonderful gentlemen. Chris Burns, how are you?
I'm feeling good. I've got the energy of reggaeton flowing through my veins. Went and saw Bad Bunny, one of the best wrestlers in the business, last night. But he wasn't wrestling. He had a concert here at SoFi Stadium. It was fantastic. I'm feeling good. Jay's here. Let's rock and roll.
That's right. Jay is here. Jay Washington back to hang out with us this week. We appreciate it. Jay, a little rough morning, but he's hanging out with us. So y'all should appreciate the fact that Jay even showed up. How are you feeling, Jay? How are things in your world, bro?
I was tired, boss.
Nope.
I was so tired, boss. I've been working every day, boss. They have been working. It's for 17 days straight. I got another 10 before I can even think about slowing down. I was tired, boss. Now, when people listen to the audio of this, they're gonna be like, "It's Rocha running the plantation."
I can't allow me to run a plantation.
Nah, I'm here, man. I'm happy to be here. I've been like. I've been busy. I'm busy and I'm broke. That is the quintessential LA shit to say. Yo, I'm busy as fuck. What about your bank account? Nigga, I need a loan. And so, but I'm here, man. And so I'm happy to be here. I appreciate y'all. There's a lot to talk about. I just want to say again, to start off, if the White Rabbit is not who everybody thinks it is, I feel so sorry for whoever it is.
That's right. We did have another installment of the White Rabbit series. And everyone, I mean, Fightful is saying, and Wrestling Observer is saying that like this is definitely leading to Bray, but that doesn't mean it's going to actually happen.
I think it's not leading to Bray Wyatt though. I think it's leading to Wyndham.
I'm sorry, who? Oh, what? Really?
Triple H has said it's somebody nobody's expecting.
That's true. Wow.
I think it's Wyndham Rotunda.
It's gonna be,
and everybody gonna be like, people gonna be like, what do you mean that is Bray Wyatt? No. It's gonna be another version.
Is this the three faces of Bray? Is that what we're getting? Like three faces of Foley? We're getting three faces of Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, and this
you're gonna get Wyndham.
Wyndham Rotunda?
It may not be Rotunda, but you're gonna get Wyndham. Because Triple H has said it's not. He literally did a conference. He did a press conference and said it's somebody who nobody thinks it is.
Yeah,
and everybody thinks it's either the Fiend coming back or old school Waylon Mercy Bray Wyatt. It is Wyndham. Okay. I am pretty sure now it's Wyndham.
Okay, hey guys, we didn't talk about this last week, but I want to get your thoughts real quick before we dive too deep into the meat of the rundown here. You speak of Triple H. It was a great thing you said that, Jake. It reminded me of the fact that like 10 days ago. He was doing that interview, and the Ringer broke this news as well, talking about the fact that he's bringing back the elements of Wargames into the next show. So what do you guys think about this idea that Wargames is now going to be a part of a WWE pay-per-view for the first time in a while? So, Chris, I go to you. What do you think about this idea?
I think that Cody Rhodes is punching the air.
Ow. I'm tired of shit.
He's been wanting to do war games for a while, to the point where he invented one that ain't.
Yeah, it's supposed to feature two
war games in AEW, and ever since they announced it in NXT.
Wait, did Chris's internet just glitch, or am I losing it?
No, Chris went out for a little, so I tried to cover whenever Chris's internet goes out. Go ahead, Chris. Go back a few seconds for what you were saying.
Oh no, I was just saying that ever since they introduced war games in WWE. Most people, people are excited about it. I've been to a couple, the NXT ones.
Nice.
But it's not quite war games. The rules are different.
Yeah.
The setup is different. And I think that was, and from what I understand, that was by design by Vince McMahon, because he was like, he has to put his twist on it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So the reason I'm excited about it is because we all know Triple H is an old school fan.
Right.
He loved the NWA. And now this is a main roster thing, not an NXT thing. Survivor Series is the perfect pay-per-view for it. So maybe we won't get some steakless, Raw versus SmackDown garbage again.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'm excited about it under Mr. Levesque.
Yeah, he says there's gonna be two, a woman's and a men's,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be storyline driven, not Raw versus SmackDown, which was always so stupid. So, Jay, what do you think about this? Do you like the War Games element in Survivor Series? Do you like that being a part of this?
It's the perfect place for it.
Hmm.
I mean, granted, War Games was a thing in itself.
Yeah.
But if you call it Survivor Series ... War Games, like, just call it that. We understand what it is because it's both.
Yeah.
And again, the storyline driven, I just don't want to see Bianca Belair, Bliss, and Asuka on a team together anymore.
Oh,
right. I just don't, because it's not gonna work. It just doesn't feel good because damage control automatically wins. So I think that I think, again, Triple H knowing what he wants, he's gonna take what NXT was minus his father-in-law sprinkling and make it the main show. This is what I've been wanting to do. So War Games is gonna be that thing.
Do you think Cody comes back? Because, of course, for those of you who don't know wrestling history, in 1987, Dusty Rhodes came up with the idea for War Games, which is what Chris was alluding to earlier in his comment. So do you think they bring Cody back to do some kind of, introduction to this whole thing, some kind of, reaching back to the legacy of Dusty?
I can see a video package where he talks about the War Games, but I mean, he's insane enough to do it. Regardless
That's what I was about to say.
Shit.
Yeah.
Hey, let me tell you something. When Cody tore his pec in Hell in a Cell, Vince McMahon was like, that wellness policy? Who's got cocaine? Give it all to him. Because that's the only way Cody went out there and competed. Because you got to be higher than a kite to have your complete pec torn. So Cody will probably be like, so Hunter, listen, I got 8 Percocet pills I can take over the next 3 days. Can I do this? They're gonna be like, hell no, because he wants to so bad.
Yeah.
They're like, bro, you can wait till January 28th. It will be fine. But that's how much he loves the business, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's how much he loves it. But look, putting Cody Rhodes in War Games is like Michael McDaniel putting Tua Tagovailoa back on the game from Miami after 4 days getting rocked, and then this Thursday his whole brain gets reset. Yeah. So that would be that would literally be the equivalent of it. So you don't do it.
And just like Tua, just like Cody, Tua came out and said, "Yeah, I can't wait to get back on the field as soon as possible." What are you talking about? Stay off the football field for at least 6 weeks, for God's sakes. I'd say the rest of the season, but at least 6.
Tua is now Chris Nowinski.
All right, well, let's get into the meat of the show here, and remind you all that the Streamlabs and SuperChats are open. You see the Streamlabs address right above Jay's head. I'm going to pin it in the chat as well. Send in your support today, because we're going to have some fun today as well as we had last week. So show some love as we go along here today, getting into things here in pro wrestling. Let's start with a little bit of sad news that we had. This broke last night, unfortunately. Legendary Japanese iconic wrestler Antonio Inoki passed away last night at the age of, I believe, 79. And so just a shame to lose such an incredible trailblazer. He's also a politician. A lot of Manny Pacquiao connections here. It also was an incredible guy at the top of his game and also became a politician. And this was announced by New Japan Pro Wrestling, which was the promotion that he founded. They haven't released the cause of his death. He had fallen ill in recent years and had been relegated to a wheelchair. And look, not a lot of wrestlers live to 79 years old, and certainly not a lot of wrestlers that put themselves through the incredible physical matches that Antonio Inoki put himself through in his prime. He got famous most notably for fighting Muhammad Ali, and that became almost like a shoot fight because apparently Ali wouldn't listen to the rules and Inoki got pissed. And so stuff happened between them. But he was the first Japanese wrestler to win the WWF title, even though they don't recognize it by the WWE. And he was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2010. He founded NJPW in 1972, and he trained people like Nobuhiko Takada, and who helped start the MMA promotion Pride that happened in 1997. He also opened up a training academy for MMA fighters and pro wrestlers in LA called Inoki Dojo, and both Lyoto Machida, Bryan Danielson, and the namesake of this show, Shinsuke Nakamura, king of strong style, in my opinion, were students there. He started his own political party called the Sports and Peace Party and was elected into the Japanese House of Councilors in 1989, then served as an elected politician from 2013 to 2019 there in Japan. So incredible legacy, almost hit that 80-year mark. So, Chris, I turn to you. What an incredible legend and what a sad passing. But he certainly leaves a great legacy for many people to follow.
I mean, yeah, rest in peace to the legend. I mean, besides, I would say maybe Giant Baba and a couple others, Inoki is Japanese wrestling.
Right.
You know, not only did he found New Japan, but to your point, the basis on which it's founded upon, strong style, was his entire philosophy, and really laying your shit in. And it's wild because, you know, his legacy is New Japan Pro Wrestling, but there's the period of time where his insistence on strong style actually hurt the company for a very, very long time.
Good point.
Which people referred to as the Inokiism era, where he was bringing in legit MMA fighters into New Japan and encouraging his pro wrestlers to fight MMA, and they were getting their chins knocked off. And then the MMA fighters were not charismatic enough to carry pro wrestling matches. So it's so funny. It's like, it's one of those things where, you know, you die the hero, you stay long enough to become the villain. One of those things. But his impact, his influence, his legacy, his contributions are second to none.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people credit him with, in his own way, founding the UFC, founding MMA in the world because of what he did there in those Inokiisms. So certainly an indirect result, but one that in the end bore fruit for a lot of people. So great legacy there. Yeah, Jay, thoughts on Antonio Inoki and his legacy and his place in the pro wrestling firmament?
Without him, you don't have a lot of talent you have, whether it be Japanese or American, because a lot of people came out of the Inoki Dojo here as well. I had the pleasure of working with some of the students back in the day in IWA Mid-South.
Nice.
And let me tell you something. I have never in my life been hit as hard as I've been hit by an Inoki student. And I was like, oh my God. Because we was working out and Ian was like, Trauma, come here. And I was like, oh, fuck do you want? And he was like, you know, we're kid. And I was like, okay. He was like 2 years in. But dude popped me with a form, and I must have said, you know what, this business is not for me anymore. But everybody who's gone through the dojo and met that man, even older, would still pop you, would show up and still hit you. Like, this is how he trains you. I want to see if you have this spirit and things like that. Bro, look, I respect you, but you can't you can't have granddaddy strength at 32. Okay, all of Inoki's life, he's had grandfather strength.
Yeah,
but his legend and legacy in this industry is felt throughout all the way across of it, whether it's professional, whether it's indies. You know, it doesn't matter what company it is. The fact that, you know, he is a WWE Hall of Famer. You know, they broke in. Look, they broke in the broadcast to let you know that he passed.
Yeah,
like, yo, he's gone. And like, to know, like, this is an iconic person. This is, there are very few figures that are as big in pro wrestling, not the spectacle of what this is, not the entertainment part, that are as big in pro wrestling as Antonio Inoki.
Yeah. Had some incredible matches, you know, fought Hogan, fought Dory Funk Jr., Van Vader, Bruiser Brody, launched a 2-day festival that lured almost 300,000 people to it over those 2 days to see him in the main event fighting Ric Flair. So certainly a guy who understood who the titans of the business were and saw himself as that equal and representing an entire country in his efforts here to promote.
Checked Vader.
Yeah.
checked Vader in the ring before. Because Leon was known for getting reckless.
Yeah.
Do you understand how much of a monster you got to be to check Big Man Vader in his prime? Like,
Yeah.
when Vader was around, Vader wasn't working people. He was mauling people.
Yeah.
Chris, have you ever sat back and watched any old Vader matches, how he was just brutalizing people for no reason? Like,
100%. 100%.
You'd be like, yo, why are you like
Him
this?
and Stan Hansen used to just box people's ears and just like
Lariat, man. Jesus Christ.
Take
just
liberties.
take it. And for Inoki to hit Vader, and you see Vader have that moment, like, okay, you know what?
My bad.
I messed up a little bit.
It's like when Lesnar punched Strowman. That's about enough, Braun. That'll do.
Boy, Braun Strowman, whole big monster ass was like, I'm sorry, sir. I didn't mean to, sir.
That's true. I mean, it was a simple punch to the head. And Strowman was like, wait a minute.
Whoa.
What's up here?
You imagine getting hit by somebody, you feel like you bigger than this dude. You think you just massive, and you like, yeah, I'm the monster. And dude say, pop, and you like, oh, okay. Well, you know what, sir? I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do these things.
He pulled that punch, Jake.
He pulled it. He pulled it. He pulled it enough to top a racist. Like, oh, you know what? Maybe Black lives do matter. Oh my god. Oh, okay.
Anyway, but we do send, of course, our warmest regards, our deepest thoughts of comfort, and our condolences to his family and to everybody who knew and was trained by and certainly loved and respected Antonio Inoki, and an incredible legacy. And when you start in this business, you never know where it's going to take you. So to achieve the heights that he achieved, both politically and in the ring, deserves an incredible amount of accolades and respect. And I look forward to an incredible documentary being done down the road and that we see here in the States, honoring his contributions for sure. So rest in peace, Antonio Inoki. Rest in power. We send you the best. Let's hit some super chat here real quick. JMB says, RIP Antonio Inoki. Do you guys happen to have any memories of him or thoughts? I think we just did that. Great to see Jay again, and thanks as always, Rocha man, Chris. Any other extra thoughts? I mean, I just know the Ali stuff, and then reading about him and seeing him promote UFC stuff. He fought the founder, Royce. I think it's Royce Gracie's dad. I think it was. He fought him in an exhibition match in 2000. So those are the things that I've seen with him, but I don't have too many actual in-ring memories of him.
They brought it up in the chat where it's like there's this wild video of people walking up to Inoki and he just slaps them. What? And then the next person comes, he slaps them, and he's transferring his fighting spirit.
Yeah.
Which is a whole thing in Japanese wrestling. When you see them do where they're trading the forearms with one another, they're testing each other's fighting spirit. I know a lot of people call that indie punching, but no, that's Japanese fighting spirit is what that spot is.
Shit, indie punching. But first of all, I hate indie wrestlers who can't throw forearms. I'm sorry, those sensitive ass bitches. I'm sorry.
They might be watching. Come on, we need their views.
How are you gonna say that? Because I picked some of you little bitches, and I tell you, they'd be back and they'd be like.
He was thinking about the time Antonio Inoki fought the Bad News Bears. Ed sending that in here. Hold on, I got to bring that up because I had no idea that actually happened. Or maybe was it? Well, yeah, I guess it's training in Japan, whatever that sequel was. But here is Antonio Inoki fighting the poor Bad News Bears. Look at him, just throwing kids around.
Do you understand? This man is just throwing children. Like you gotta switch this. This was before stunt performers. Like that's racist. That's a black child.
Those are not little people. Those are children being thrown around.
Those are grown men dressed like kids getting whooped.
Oh, fantastic stuff. Kids' lives matter though.
Horrors.
For sure. All right. Let's move on. Keep sending in your Streamlabs and Super Chats, ladies and gentlemen. Just pinned it in the chat here. So send in some support this morning. We got 85 of you watching us right now. Hit that like button as well. And if you're watching later, leave a comment as well as hitting that like button. All right, let's move on to this other story here. This is a quick one, but I thought we should talk about it. There's a Vince McMahon doc that is coming from Vice next month. I heard nothing about this. I didn't know that they were working on a documentary. It's kind of sliding under the radar because we're getting that Territories doc coming next week that The Rock did with the Dark Side of the Ring guys. So I was surprised to hear about this, but PW Insiders reported that it's, quote, confirmed with multiple sources who were interviewed for the project that a Vince McMahon doc will air in October and will cover the sordid circumstances that led to McMahon being forced to exit. Vice TV has not issued any statement on this. And remember, as I said, they're premiering on October 4th, Tales from the Territory. So there is that Blumhouse film that's supposed to be coming out. And who knows if that's going to happen now that Vince has stepped down. So, Jay, are you surprised that Vice is doing this? And what do you anticipate for it? Because it's really fast. We're not even done. The body's not even cold yet. And they're already doing a documentary.
Vice gonna Vice. Vice gonna Vice. I mean, look, the fact that they were doing this, look, it's like if the moment something happens on the news and within 24 hours, there's a documentary on Hulu. You know, people have been pulling clips and everything. So it's in that same vein, if you think about it. Yeah. You knew a Vince McMahon scandal this big that pushed him out. They were like, get the clips. Like, who wants to talk that don't want to go back to the company? That's literally what it is. Who want to talk that don't want to go back to WWE or just like, my career is, I'm fine. Okay, which Briscoe's alive? Come on, let's talk. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, whoever they can get to talk. And so the thing is, with all this going out, for Vince, you know, Vince has this mindset, I don't care. It's still going to make money because guess what? The company is making money and he may not be at the helm, but he's still the creator and he makes money off of it. So he doesn't care. Yeah. But
yeah, it's odd. I mean, because I thought they had stopped Dark Side of the Ring. We're going to talk about that in a second. I thought that's because maybe WWE didn't, you know, Vince was finally enough was enough. But the fact that they're doing a doc, they're almost poking the bear a little bit, unless this is a doc that maybe defends Vince, which would be really shocking. So what do you think from this, Chris? Does it surprise you? What do you think about this?
I mean, I always said for years that we wouldn't get a good Vince McMahon documentary until he passed on because there was no way he wasn't going to be involved.
Yeah.
But I think Vice may have found a way to slip in and be like, oh, he's distracted. Let's quickly, let's get all the things and let's get the talking heads. Let's go. And I mean, you know, the really question is WWE involved or not? And if they're not, then it's actually might maybe be good. But then again, to your point, there's been a meme going around about how Vice tried to make a reformed sexual predator like documentary.
Oh my God! At the end, dude.
And then at the end, the dude's like, "Oh yeah, you just got to keep moving and living your life." And then the subscript is whatever the dude's name is. Sent a picture of his penis to our producers right after this, and it's like,
and it ended just like that.
It may be the funniest, most unfortunate thing on the internet right now. And that's a Vice documentary. So I don't know what the approach is for Vince McMahon. I'm not sure if Vince is going to send his nudes directly after. Good God Almighty! What a time to be alive.
Hey, bro, all I know is Vince involved with it. Vince McMahon. Well, listen, you know, if you wanted to get ahead in the business, you had to give ahead, and so I just did what everyone thought you should do.
Can you imagine? Oh my God! Yeah, I mean this is
Vince is 80 years old.
It's almost like Love Is Blind. It's almost like Love Is Blind. Remember that they just dropped the last 3 episodes there a year later, and everybody breaks up after the fucking episodes aired, and you're just like, well, what the fuck? Why did I even watch this whole shit? And it's the same thing with what you're talking about with the sexual predators. Like, okay.
First of all, you thought all them couples was gonna stay together?
I mean, you gotta cheer for love, Jay.
I ain't cheering for no fuck. I'm lonely and single. I'm in this bitch rooting for everybody to fail. I hope your happiness implodes. I don't give a shit.
How dare you, Jay?
Look, Shayna don't deserve happiness, okay? Shayna on Love Is Blind, and Shayna needs to go to rehab, okay? Shayna needs to go to rehab.
Oh, yeah.
The only person I was rooting for was Deep, but now she with this anarchist named Kyle. I don't like it, okay? Jared fucked up in a good one. I knew the two of them weren't going to be together because I know people that know Jared personally. I was like, they are not going to make it.
Interesting.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, there's no way he was going to stay with her. There's no. I was surprised they were still together by the time they did those episodes.
Yeah, because if she didn't give him some, they wasn't gonna make it through the show.
Yeah.
Spoiler, you don't watch Love Is Blind, Chris? Oh, bro, you don't know.
It's a good show.
Bro, you missed a good show, bro. Look, it was this cute little black chick and this black brother, and like she was like, "Yo, I'm not trying to have sex till I'm married," and he was like, "Okay." For 2 episodes, but then episode 3, you started looking at him like, so something got to give. And like, so she, because they went to Mexico, and he was like, if I don't fuck across this border, and like, he was kind of upset, and they did, and then all of a sudden it was like, well, we've grown so much stronger. Yeah, because you let him bust one. Like, he's happy now.
There you go. But yeah, there's, a little more eloquence going on. But yes, what Jay said basically is the truth of what happens. But yes, but so it's called Love Is Blind. It's on Netflix. Y'all should watch it if you want to see some drama. It is because they basically, the show is real quick. The show is they bring in a bunch of people who want to find love. They can only meet through a partition. They can only speak to each other through a partition. They do not see each other, and it's over 2 days. And then you have to ask one of them to marry you if you feel that they're a connection with you, and they have to say yes. And then they follow you and see if you'll stay together or not. But yeah, that one is fantastic. I love that show. It's insane. And they've got a Japanese version, which I'm afraid to see. Huh? What?
Well, you got to root for love, Jay.
Yeah, exactly,
you know
Jay.
You know me. I'm a romantic. I'm a lover of all things women. I'm
gonna get about it.
Where are you going, Jay? Jay, where are you going?
Oh no!
Come back. What?
I don't need to be by electricity or anything that can transmit the lightning bolt that's going to come down. So I'm going to step away for a moment. When you're done lying and talking in the presence of the Lord, let me know.
Everybody knows me. Everybody knows Chris. This is,
all right.
regular guy out here. Yeah.
I like the idea of J&B saying Vince is ringside with a folded, or Vice is ringside with a folded chair, waiting for Vince to look away. Yeah, that's how they do in the documentary. I like that one. And Murderanta wondering if one of the Bad News Bears was Kevin Hart in disguise. Yikes! Good shot there.
Yeah, don't be talking about Kevin, man.
All right, guys, keep sending in your Streamlabs and Super Chats. What are you doing right now? We got almost 100 you watching right now. Send in your love if you're enjoying what we're bringing to you. Come on. You see there in the chat, and you see it up there on the screen. All right, let's move on to our next thing. Let's talk about the Dark Side of the Ring. As I mentioned, it looks like it's coming back during an appearance on Talk is Jericho. The series co-creator Evan Husney, we need to get on this show to interview him. He confirmed that Dark Side of the Ring will live on. Quote, oh yeah, definitely. It's really interesting because when we decided to do Tales from the Territories, like I said, it was in the making since 2019. We finally got the opportunity to do it. And obviously, when Vice picked it up, it was like, okay, this is going to occupy that space after season 3 to really focus on this, to produce it, to get it off the ground, kind of establish what it is so it can kind of live on its own eventually. We had no intention of stopping doing Dark Side, and he went on to ensure the fans of the series that more information will inevitably surface. It's in talks right now. Everyone's going to hear something real soon. We're just kind of getting that machine going real soon. So stay tuned. But yeah, definitely not going anywhere for sure. It's here to stay. So, Chris, we're getting another Dark Side of the Ring. It sounds like. Do you believe him, or is this more kind of negotiating tactics through a podcast, trying to get Vice to come aboard on this situation? What do you think this is all about?
I think if he said it, it's going to happen.
Okay.
I think that if there wasn't something in the works, he would just say, we'll see what happens,
right?
Or you know what I mean? That's our intention, or something like that. The fact that he just kind of definitively said, "Oh yeah, like we're working on it," because I think a lot of the news outlets just kind of jumped the gun when it was like, "Oh, they're working on this different thing," and then we were like, "Oh, Dark Side of the Ring is done, it's over," and it's like I don't, I kind of combed back through a lot of stories, and it's like, yeah, I don't remember any stories saying that it was done,
right?
You know what I mean? So, we're hearing it from the horse's mouth, and this is a guy who's dared to tell the truth about pro wrestling in a time where people would be trying to kayfabe you still. Yeah. And so I don't think that he would kayfabe us on a podcast.
Fair enough. Especially Jericho, right? Because Jericho was obviously involved in narrating some of those episodes, which I thought Jericho did a really good job narrating those episodes, in my opinion. I'm hard on voiceover people. I thought he was really good. Jay, what are your thoughts on this? Do you like that it's coming back? Do you believe that it's coming back? Are you excited that it's coming back?
Every skeleton in professional wrestling will be exposed via Vice, because the only way the show can end is if there isn't more dirt to tell and more people don't want to know the dirt. Remember back in the day, those shoot videos? Remember how popular those were?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
My
yeah.
God, yes.
This is amplified times 20, because, again, the shoot videos are how we kept hearing small accounts of the plane ride from hell.
Right.
But a whole Vice documentary, a whole Dark Side episode was like, Ric Flair is canceled. Do you understand? No one cared until the episode. So I say that to say there's always going to be so much stuff behind the scenes, behind the curtains that no one knows.
Yeah.
You hear about, look, you might find out how Michael P.S. Hayes is racist and told Mark Henry, I'm a bigger nigga than you. Like, that might go its way into an episode.
Oh, my. Oh, my.
Who is still an actor, producer, and agent right now in the back at the WWE. Yeah. But because there are all of these things, and I'm telling you, you know why Dark Side of the Ring has to stay? Because there is one person that everybody's going to want to watch his documentary on.
Who's that?
That bitch-ass Phil Brooks. Because they going to do the CM Punk one, and it's going to be...
Shit.
You
think they do? Wow.
Your special hatred of Punk is one of my favorite things. It's like the plethora of assholes in pro wrestling to choose from, and it's like that. It's just like hilarious. He is the Reed Richards to your Dr. Doom, where it's like you just, Richards. I love it. I love it.
But I think, because think about it. If all his plans out, no, my special deep-seated hate aside, if all this goes the way it's going with AEW and he's done, don't you think from the thing with him? I mean, granted, he would get a bunch of lawyers. Don't you let them make this documentary of me. They gonna show me in a bad light. Motherfucker, you showed yourself in a bad light. But people like him, the story of The Rock, you know, like The Rock is in the dark side, but CM Punk is a Dark Side of the Ring thing.
Yeah.
When you think about it.
That's definitely a subject. Yeah.
So you have these type of stories. You have these things you've heard whispers about.
Right.
And now you start to see them. I wouldn't be surprised if IWA Mid-South doesn't become one with the legacy of Ian Rotten. You know what I'm saying? There's so much stuff. And people are watching. It'd be a different story if nobody was watching these again. Right. The plane ride from hell got Ric Flair canceled for 6 weeks. But
got Tommy Dreamer canceled. He ain't have nothing to do with it.
Tommy Dreamer didn't say nothing. And they wanted Tommy's head. Tommy ain't say nothing. Tommy Dreamer just was like, well, I can't comment on that. Get him. I'm like, yo.
Yeah, Tommy didn't have the PR team that Flair had, who were running his social medias and turn the narrative around to have one last match for Flair and shit. Tommy can't afford that social media team. So he got, unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, but he got smoked for sure for that. Yeah. Some other suggestions I've seen online too, which would be interesting. Because I mean, I think you're right with Punk, but even that incident, if they were to even like do
the media scrum in itself is a whole episode.
Yeah, the media scrum is a whole fucking episode for goddamn sure. But some suggestions here. I'm looking at this place, the 3pointconversion.com. The Sandman could be very interesting. Abdullah the Butcher could be interesting. The Crown Jewel 2019 tarmac incident could be a very, very interesting.
But you see what I'm saying? Those are just small little stories.
Yeah.
That all you need, I mean, granted, yes, it can be multiple episodes, or you can do a special one-off episode.
Yeah.
But now you get all the wrestlers that counts, you know what I'm saying, of what happened. Yo, they told us we couldn't leave. Vince said, I'm pulling the plug. They say you pull the plug, we pulling this flight. Like, and Brock told Hogan, you want to come with me? You better make the decision right now.
Yeah, another ones are Test, maybe looking at what happened with Test and how that whole process went down. Dustin Runnels is a possibility as well. And somebody even mentioned Perry Saturn, which I didn't think would be a subject, but could be interesting. I imagine.
Saturn would be interesting. The decline of Saturn is one of the more unfortunate things in pro wrestling, in my opinion.
I need a whole episode on Moppy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
First of all, I like how Chris didn't want to laugh because he had that "I'm gonna go to hell if I laugh" thing. He called himself. No, let it out, Chris. Or Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
Do you understand Jeff Hardy's dark side of the ring? Because look, let's just be real. God forbid the path he's going down, unless he really changes, something bad can happen. And then that Jeff Hardy, because that is enough to be its own 3-4 part series. Because we've watched from Jeff when he was his original WWE run, the match with Sting at TNA where he was up.
Oh yeah.
The match with Sting, the leaving back out when he was back in WWE, his, all his run-ins with the Law. It's so many different things with pro wrestling you can do. Like, again, somebody just said it in the chat, and it's the realest one too. Joey Ryan.
Oh yeah, of course. Because I think what Luigi is doing in AEW is exactly what Ryan would have been doing if he was still around. I guarantee you, that whole spot Luigi is doing is what Joey Ryan would be doing at AEW right now if he hadn't, all that stuff hadn't come out about it.
He got a whole presentation at the original All Out. Remember with the blow up penises and all the,
totally.
It was like, oh my God, they're like gonna push this guy, and then everything came out and it was like, ooh, no.
He was sponsored by Pornhub.
Yeah, Pornhub, right. Yep.
He was legitimately sponsored by Pornhub.
Yeah, I remember when he came in.
Jay,
he was in. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, Chris.
No, I was gonna say, and Jay and I know. I mean, here in LA specifically, like Joey was, an icon.
Yeah, he was the guy.
Bar wrestling was the show, and he's the founder of PWG. Like he's, Southern California wrestling would not be what it is without Joey Ryan. And when all that thing happened, that void still hasn't been filled. Yeah. Honestly, in up here coming on to 2023.
But you see what you just said? That's a whole episode about how he helped to build, and he is responsible for the building of a scene.
Mm-hmm.
And then one move goes viral, and then he gets signed by Pornhub, and then he gets on a bigger stage. He does it again. The whole where did you find that many inflatable dicks? Like,
I'll send you the Amazon link.
Yeah, I remember when he came in to be interviewed at Collider. He came in and Christian interviewed him on the show, and before all that stuff blew up, and I think Roxy knew him, which is how he got on the show. I think don't quote me on that, but I think that's how he got on the show. And then he sat and talked about all that kind of stuff. And then, of course, all that stuff blew up. And it was like, God damn, because he was a nice guy. And then, all that shit blows up. And I was like, Jesus Christ, man, what the fuck? Somebody mentioned Hardbody Harrison. And I had no idea about this story about Hardbody Harrison. I didn't know who the hell this guy was. And then I was looking at this thing and I'm like, holy shit. So real quick, this guy could be Hardbody Harris was a former platoon and motor sergeant in the U.S. Army before changing his career to become a pro wrestler. Harrison wrestled in WCW as an enhancement talent until it was bought by WWE in 2001. After leaving the wrestling business, Harrison, along with 2 others, were involved in a sex trafficking scandal in which they groomed women who wanted to become pro wrestlers and made them sex slaves. Harrison is currently serving a life sentence for his crimes. That, to me, seems like perfect fodder for something like this to explore, especially with the Me Too movement, kind of showing how the pro wrestling business has been really brutal to women who have wanted to be a part of it, and how it can get abusive for sure.
Like you said, Jay, there's so many stories.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's so many, there's so much speculation. There's so much real story. There's so many, they'll never run out. They'll never run out of joints. They can go as long as they choose to go, because guess what? Pro wrestling is still going. And so more skeletons pile up as the years go by. True. And it's just going to take a matter of time before they start falling out.
Yeah.
Let me tell you the story of one Triple H and Stephanie.
No. JMB said, I don't mean to hijack, but Jay, your prediction for the Bears record this season and yay or nay on the playoffs. Now back to your regularly scheduled strong style.
Boo!
The Bears.
You want to say what with your chest, Chris? Want to say it with your chest?
Boo!
Okay. I just want you to understand from the bottom of my heart.
Yeah.
I hate you.
Listen,
Chris? Look, I'm talking Chris.
Oh, okay.
Because look, we're right now. Look, no. You stay here and enjoy this. As of right now, we sit at 2-1.
Yeah, you're 2-1.
We sit at 2-1. God is good.
He brought you the Noah's flood for the first game.
I serve a living God, and I know that by God being in our corner, we may go at least 9-9.
That's not 19 games in a season.
I mean, 9-8. That's how I need my God to work. We don't even get a bye week. I just need us to play through it. 9-8. Playoffs. What are the playoffs? Those don't exist. But look, I serve a living God, okay? And I will sacrifice Chris Burns' hairline to get the Bears to a winning season.
Yeah, rough situation for you guys. 2-1, and the meat of your schedule is coming up. Don't worry, my Commanders are going to shit the bed as well. All right, let's move on to the next thing here. Keep sending in your Streamlabs and Super Chats, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate it madly. Let's move on to Raw. So I'm going to clear my throat for this one because a lot happened here. We found out that Extreme Rules is getting 2 new big matches on this Raw. Bianca versus Bayley in a ladder match. Whew, that's going to be brutal. And then Edge versus Finn Balor, apparently for the first time in an I Quit match. So that's going to be fascinating to see. Normally I wouldn't be excited about it, but an I Quit match now gets me really excited. These guys in the ring. We saw Bianca Belair defeat Io Sky via pinfall with a KOD. Matt Riddle defeated Damian Priest via pinfall with a splatto. Seth Rollins defeated Rey Mysterio via submission with a Peruvian necktie. Kevin Owens and Johnny Gargano defeated the Alpha Academy. Alpha Academy loses again via pinfall when Gargano hit Chad Gable with one final beat after that whole situation with the case. Later, Alpha Academy, in theory, were talking about getting revenge on Gargano when Gable received a call from Braun Strowman, with Braun Strowman challenging him to a match next week. Yikes. Finn Balor made a pitch for AJ Styles again that didn't go well and almost won another handicap match. Dexter Lumis attacked The Miz backstage, still going with the face stalker storyline. And then Candice LeRae debuted back in the WWE, defeated Nikki ASH via pinfall with an avalanche swinging neckbreaker. Sami Zayn defeated AJ Styles via pinfall with a hell of a kick after Solo Sikoa hit Styles with an Uranagi on the ring apron to set up the finish. And then Judgment Day beat down AJ Styles when Styles again refused the offer from Finn Balor to join the group. So, Jay, I go to you on this one first. Thoughts on this overall Raw? What stood out to you? What worked for you? What didn't work for you? What's your thoughts on this?
There are so many storylines consistently building up. I saw this on Raw. Like damn near every single match leads to something. The only thing we don't know what's leading to is Omos, because you just got to keep having him squash people, which is fine. Like if you're just gonna put him on TV, have him keep squashing people.
Yeah.
Candice LeRae coming back. Okay. Triple H is like, everybody I love, I'll see y'all soon. Like he bringing everybody.
Yeah.
Hey, if you part of NXT Nickelodeon, you gonna stay there for a minute. If you were part of Black and Gold, get ready to pick a main roster spot. We're about to get Nikki Cross again. I love that.
Oh, you think they're going to get rid of the ASH completely?
That's the reason she took the mask off.
Oh, interesting.
That's the reason. Triple H. So Nikki ASH was her idea.
Yeah. Right. She pitched it hard.
But Vince McMahon did Vince McMahon, and that's why you got what you got. I love the fact, again, the white privilege storyline that is running is the realest thing ever. For those who don't know, Dexter Lumis is stalking a man, and we are supposed to be cheering it.
A man and his family, Jay. A man and his family.
And then, hold on. This is the one thing that made me upset. He beat up the Miz, hired this elite security force. Look, and it looked like the same dudes that was in the ring with Almost, and I was like, who they gonna stop? But and I'll wrap it up with this. There's something with Kevin Owens and Johnny Gargano that seems kind of weird.
Okay.
Because it's like they're working together, and Kevin's just like, I'm doing this just because. Because, like, again, what's Kevin Owens' path? I want the WWE Undisputed Universal title. He keeps telling everybody. He keeps running. But his path is so dope because it's, I got to eventually get to the title. I'm going to team with people, and I'm gonna kick the dog shit out my friend if he don't get his head together. He's running so many different ways. So again, this all ran real nice because it wasn't just, even though it's 3 hours and like we all still believe you don't need a 3-hour show. Yeah. He kept stuff moving for different storylines and different elements. Again, Candice LeRae was there to pop people and to turn Nikki Cross back to Nikki Cross.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I'm wearing my Way shirt, because we're close to the Way reunion happening here on Raw, which could be interesting because you've got Gargano, you got LeRae. Is Indy Hartwell far behind? And with Dexter Lumis there, we can rekindle that situation. For
probably just sitting down in Florida like, so y'all just forgot about me. Hey, I was here. Hello. Hello.
As long as she stays out of the Hurricanes, Pat, that's good. Chris, thoughts on Raw overall? What stood out to you? What worked for you? What do you think of all the matches? And if you want to go one by one through them and your thoughts, feel free.
I agree with Jay, man. It's just that's all we've ever asked of WWE Weekly TV, to just move things forward.
Yeah,
that's all. No more, no less. Like, we get it, and we're getting extra because not only are things moving forward, but then we get these long, drawn-out matches that give the fans time to invest in them, which we didn't used to get before.
Right.
And so just like going down everything. Well, I'll say this too. What I like about Raw, they're building up Extreme Rules to actually feel like a pay-per-view that matters.
Yes, that matters. Yes.
Which is something that doesn't have I don't remember ever really caring about Extreme Rules like that. Right. And also the matches mostly all have stipulations.
Yeah.
Thus justifying the title Extreme Rules.
Right.
What a novel concept. And then also the stipulations are based on what's happening in the story. Mm-hmm. Not just like the TLC pay-per-view where it's like, well, it's March or whatever it is. We got to have some TLC matches. Throw some people in them. And it's like, and that's like kind of my whole thing with Wargames.
Yeah.
And why I was so glad Triple H was like, no, it's going to be a storyline reason why there's a Wargames, not just, well, it's on Survivor Series, so we got to figure out how to get some people in a Wargame. And we see it building. So, like, I think that Raw and SmackDown, for that matter, are doing a really good job with that. The Omos squashes, he needs a thing.
It's getting boring. That's the only thing that's getting boring, dude.
Sure, he needs it's like Wardlow with the powerbomb symbol.
Yeah.
Omos needs that. He needs like a thing that he does that people pop for. I get that, like, when people complain about the giant squashing, it's like, dude, 911 in ECW never, I don't know if he wrestled a match.
Nope.
I don't know if that happened. He came out when something was boring and everyone started chanting 911. He chokeslammed everyone and was the most over wrestler in the company for a while. Dude was dressed like the security guard at the Rainbow Room on Sunset.
Yeah.
And didn't look like a wrestler, just looked like some random friend of Paul Heyman, was super over. Omos at least looks intimidating. He's super tall. Like, give him something. Give him a thing that people look forward to, whether it's a chokeslam symphony. Don't do the powerbomb because it's overdone now, and Braun's doing the powerbomb now. Just like something. Just give him something for us to pop for when he does come out. Not just he pounds them all in the dirt and then it's over. Like,
hey, man. At least they gave almost real gear.
I mean, again, look at this man. Look at this dude.
This is the video game. I mean, he made it to the video game, for God's sake.
Yep.
So shout out to him for getting there, man.
Unbelievable. Utterly unbelievable.
He's the first wrestler ever to have a G Unit t-shirt gear.
Right. Horrible. Absolutely horrible. Like, come on, MVP, figure something out for your man.
They took him out. Hey, bro, they took him out of that first. They took him out of that Columbine trench coat because I was like, I know that shit is hot. And then they put him in a leather jacket. I was like, yo, this man is.
Let us not forget, in the first match that he wrestled as AJ's partner, Omos was dummy over.
Yes,
he was.
Super over.
Yes, he was.
Let's not forget it. So, again, if you don't overexpose the dude and you give us something to look forward to, he can be just fine. Just fine.
Yeah, because he beat the dog shit out the New Day, and everybody was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, and he's getting he's getting slimmer. Like he's even getting in better shape over the last few months. So like this feels even more believable. The things that he's doing. So yeah, it's pretty
incredible.
cool.
Got him running with MVP and Bobby Hesher.
Yeah,
got him running with MVP and Bobby. He's good.
Yeah. A little Zion makeover. You know what I mean? Lose a little bit of that belly fat, get a little more trim.
Did you say a Zion makeover?
Yeah, you know what it is. Yeah. I mean, look, if we are gonna do a ladies' war game with Bayley, with Damage Control and Bianca's crew, we got to figure out some additions to Bianca's crew because still, there's just no. Yeah. At this point, Bayley has to beat her. If you ask me,
right.
At this point, because
set it up.
It's the only thing that's going to give it any energy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. If Bianca just retains, it's like, all right, what we got to wait till Becky's healthy again to do something else. But Becky's a baby face now, so that probably wouldn't go over that well. It's like Bayley kind of has to win.
Would Sasha and Naomi come back as faces to join her crew?
Sasha's busy.
Yeah, it seems like Sasha. A lot of Sasha is new handles, so maybe Sasha's gone.
What new handle? She just changed it to her name.
Yeah. I don't think that. I think people ran with that like insane. Like, come on, dog. Like, she's name. Yeah, she's exploring other opportunities, and they're not going to be billed as Sasha Banks. I think that she understands like, oh, people are like coming to my booths at Comic Cons and and they keep calling me Sasha. And so people say, oh, Mercedes Verne or whatever her last name is. And everyone's like, wait, who's that? So I think that was a move to give more visibility to her real name. Guys, it's a done deal. Sasha and Naomi are coming back. That's happening.
Bro, it just killed me that every news outlet made a whole story.
It's true.
Of her change. She's changed her Twitter handle to Mercedes Bernardo. Well, what does it mean?
Right.
Nigga, she got a career outside of this.
That's what it means. Right.
Dwayne Johnson goes back through that curtain. He's The Rock. Soon as he goes backstage and on his phone, he's Dwayne Johnson. What are y'all talking about?
That's a good point. And also the other side of this, though, I mean, to further my point is that it's Survivor Wargames Survivor Series is happening in Boston, which is her hometown. So,
that's her. That's her for sure.
Could she come back on the face side to help Bianca
as a surprise addition?
That's what I'm saying.
That's how you pop for a premium live event.
Yeah.
If you were like, we got a surprise person. Like, oh my God, because the next story we got to talk about. And
I feel like we just cracked the case. I literally just said they need to inject 2 other people onto that side to give it more energy.
Yeah.
And Bayley, I'm sure could find 2 other heels to do the thing.
Yeah.
That's perfect. If Sasha and Naomi are the surprises for War Games, all day.
Then you have no idea who's going to win. Then the scales are equal, and now you have no idea.
What you mean you have no idea? You know exactly. In Boston? In Boston? If this don't happen in Boston, you got to do this.
Can Cole not say it's boss time? I'd really love him not to fucking say that ever again.
That's not going anywhere.
That's not going anywhere.
God, the most annoying.
Do you remember Taz? Every time Brock Lesnar came out, his music started, he was like, well, here comes the pain. Every week. Taz was, well, here comes the pain. Well, here comes the pain.
I mean, there's nothing less cool than having a middle-aged white dude go, it's boss time, as you come out as a proud black woman. There's nothing less cool for you to announce you than that on air.
You were talking about Michael Cole.
Insane. Yeah, Michael Cole. That's what I'm saying.
You said anything less.
Nobody talks like that is the other thing. No human person would ever like every time every time I saw you, Jay, at the bar or comedy store or something like that, I was like, we about to get washed. Like no one does that. But now I'm gonna stop doing that because I just said that.
It's
from now on,
time. I swear to God, you walk up on me and go, you gotta get what? Wash your ass the fucking way from me. I'm gonna walk dead ass off.
This
Get
motherfucker
ready,
got up
it's
and
coming.
walked straight out of the court.
The rest of Raw,
Yeah.
good Lord. And this is the other thing I love. There's so many wrestlers involved in every storyline.
Yeah.
Like you said, the main story with Kevin is with Roman. You'd never know it because he's dealing with Gargano and Sammy and you know what I mean, and Austin Theory, and everyone gets the rub. You know what I'm saying? That's also what I love so much about the Roman thing, where people still like are bitching like, but there's no main title on the two shows. Everyone's benefiting from the Bloodline storyline.
Do it again.
When's the last time?
No, do it again.
We need a main title on Raw and SmackDown. Roman takes time off. Yeah, and then when he shows up, it's a huge deal, isn't it? You know what I'm saying? Like, let me ask you a question. When Hogan was world champion, was he on Superstars every week?
No, not every week.
He only wrestled at the pay-per-views. Every now and again, he showed up on Superstars, cut a promo, and then you looked forward to seeing the champion. This is old school wrestling. You pay to see the champion.
Right.
That's what this is. And it's doing, I don't know if you've noticed, it's doing wonders for the Intercontinental title. It's doing wonders for the U.S. title. All things that we complained about are happening now because the world title is occupied by the biggest star in the company, who should be the champion. So what's the problem? Yeah. And then again, like I said, when was the last time we had this many people over based on one story? Yeah. Austin Theory loses every week. He's still over. Yes. Because he's got money in the bank and he's threatening Roman and the bloodline. Yeah. Sami Zayn is a member, quote unquote. Honorary Oos, not a full-fledged member like I am with Bullet Club. But honorary is fine. He's like grad chapter, bloodline. That's fine. But it's just so he's over because of it. Kevin's in the mix going after Roman. He's over because of it. It's feeding a lot of mouths. It's doing its job. It's wonderful. Okay. I'm very interested in this. Speaking of Bullet Club and my alumni. Hello. I'm very interested in this I Quit match. Yeah. Because again, multiple wrestlers are involved in this Judgment Day situation. It's Ray, it's Dominic, it's the various members of Judgment Day. Now it's AJ Styles, it's Edge. So many moving parts here, but then there's a lot of reports coming out that apparently Finn is in line for a massive push. Apparently he's really favored by Triple H and creative and management. They're really high on the guy. And again, you talk about Triple H's favorites. Yeah. Who was his first baby? That was Finn Balor. Finn Balor was the guy. NXT. You know what I'm saying? Come on now. Like when Samoa Joe turned on him after the Dusty Classic and they had their feud for the world title and we got the Demon for the first time. That was awesome. Come on, bro. Like, and he still hasn't done the Demon gimmick in this iteration of Finn Balor.
He's not going to.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think. I think Judgment Day keeps the print. They're doing this beautiful thing of the prince, because you forget about the Demon. So when it happened, because I believe again, Triple H gonna let the Demon be what the Demon was supposed to be before Vince got a hold of it.
Yeah.
So
that's what I'm saying. I think that at some point they're gonna keep building Finn up. They're gonna keep building him up, and then when that damn breathing starts again, people are gonna lose their mind. They're gonna absolutely lose their mind, and it's gonna be done in an incarnation that's not like Diet Undertaker, you know what I mean? Where it's like, oh, we need to sell the merch and put the It's like, no, what it's meant for, which is war paint, special occasion, big matches, can't lose. That's what we need to. And we've never really seen a heel of Demon to Murderance's point. So excited to see it. And what else on Raw? Yeah, the Dexter Loomis. He's stalking a family. I don't know what else to say. I'm not cheering for this. I'm not doing it. I'm not on board.
White privilege.
He feels alone.
It feels like him and Miz were in prison, and Miz was his prison bitch, and he's come back to reclaim his prison bitch. That's what it feels like to me, right? Because I mean, he is stalking homie and all this stuff. Oh, you got off and got married. You forgot we were in love in prison. Like you're mine, and he is coming to get him, and he destroying the Miz force, dressed as a Edmonton Oilers statue, and then patting his head after he chokes him out.
He loves it.
That's a prison bitch move, man. That's a prison bitch move. So I think that's what's happening here.
That's why Miz don't want to talk about it. That's why.
and you know,
I had some time. Jill, they didn't want to talk about it either. I understand. It's tough.
You said I want to go back real quick to what Chris, you were talking about the I Quit match.
Yeah.
And you're like, how does that work? Because of Balor getting a push. I'd like to take you to January 24th, 1999. I guarantee you we get the same finish as that. You remember what that was? That was the Rock and Mankind's I Quit match.
Oh, yeah. Great match.
Neither one of them will actually say the words I quit.
Right.
It's either going to be a recording like Rock did of Mick Foley saying it earlier in the night. Somehow it's going to be either a recording of one of them saying I quit. Because remember, you'll see Edge yelling into a microphone talking, I quit. And then have Damian Priest or Rhea or even Dominic play it at some point. Or the same thing with Finn Balor. Because if Finn's getting this push and he's going to get a massive push, you're not going to have him say, I quit.
Right.
You're not going to have him say those words.
He's just, in essence, the de facto leader of Judgment Day. Having him say, I quit, really kind of stains the fucking group completely.
And we're already like this group. Right. The group already was like, what the fuck is the point?
Yeah.
Like,
and they're always struggling, trying to incorporate Dominic into it because, look, it's like in basketball, right? You can only hide a player who can't defend for so long on your team. Eventually, you're going to pay the price, right? He's the Ben Simmons on your team. That's what it feels like, Dominic. You can only hide so much of Dominic because they're only giving him a little bit to do. And even the little bit they're giving him to do, he's fucking up. Like we talked last week, the Poppy mommy thing and the Mamacita thing, whatever he did. And then here, the whole thing where he was setting up Ray, there was no reaction once Rhea like hit Ray. Dominic wasn't like, yeah, or just getting in his face, dad's face or whatever. He's just like looking around the fucking auditorium. Bitch, work the fucking moment. It drives me insane. You are the legacy of Rey Mysterio.
No, the legacy is his daughter. We rather take Aaliyah's legacy. Than Dominic. Dominic, here's the problem.
She's gorgeous.
Dominic needs to Dominic needs to kiss Rhea in the mouth. Okay, like because what you're seeing, like you got to see that there's something more than him just sitting here like a lost fucking puppy. She's changed me. Look at the way I'm dressing. I wear it all black now. Like, that's all. I want to see Rhea kiss him in the mouth. And Rhea probably was like, I didn't want to kiss him in the mouth. Like, just kiss him in the mouth once. And then here come Buddy Matthews with his extra roided up ass coming back, talking about something. Get off my bitch. And you're like, hey! Because Dominic just feels, look, we wanted to turn for so long, right? We wanted just slap your daddy in the face. I would have done fine with the turn without him going to Judgment Day.
Right.
I would have been perfectly fine with Dominic just turning on his dad and not joining Judgment Day.
I think they knew the heel turn wasn't going to work without Judgment Day. They couldn't because he's not that good. And so I think they knew they had to have all these people around him to make it seem like he's good at what he does, you know? And so I don't know. It's like a Jessica Alba film. You got to find better actors so she looks okay when she's acting. Go ahead.
One thing, put some respect on Finn's name, okay? He's not the de facto leader of Judgment Day. He is the founder of Bullet Club.
Oh, fair enough.
The leader. He is the alpha. Don't get it twisted, okay? Shout out to the Prince.
Somebody tell Damian Priest that. But all right, go ahead. Yes.
Everyone relax.
Telenovela Undertaker.
And secondly, to your point, Jay, why do you think that Buddy Matthews recently was trying to get out of that AEW contract? Like, they about to push this story forward with my woman. I need to be present while this shit is happening. Like,
I got to have some input.
You ever have a girlfriend who got like a work husband, and you show up at the holiday party, and you got to kind of monitor their interaction a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all. That's all this, you know.
But he was like, look,
Like wait a minute.
Malachi,
I don't know how I feel about this poppy shit. I got to see what's going on.
Also, by the way, this is a side note to that.
Yeah.
Rhea Ripley's ex-boyfriend, you fucked up. You were the first person that made a woman go to black and then go back. She was not supposed to go back to another.
Jay Washington's opinions or Jay Washington's?
It's the truth. It's the truth.
I happen to share this opinion. You know what I mean? I think, you know, Julia Hart, Sky Blue, they know what's up. Like, ladies.
They know what the deal is. Sky Blue out here, bro. Sky from the crib. Yo, Julia, he was like, yeah, I got this. Bro had Rhea Ripley and let another Australian take her. You better get your didgeridoo ass out of here. This man needs to be stoned in the streets. It is always said, once you go black, you never go back or need a wheelchair because your hips in this place. She went back to Buddy Murphy, and he trying to get out of a contract now.
Shout out to Buddy, man, from Alexa Bliss to Rhea Ripley. Yeah, good job.
Hey,
you got some skills, son. Some skills. So somebody's put respect on Jessica Alba's name. That was Mrs. Fantastic. No, you can't even say it with a straight face.
Oh, see, your nurse says the dude was a dark-skinned Puerto Rican. Oh, okay. Y'all class. Never mind.
I guess that's better.
And I love.
And we're just having fun, people. Don't fucking clip this
and
out.
I love my Boricua fans. I love y'all, but like, you can if it ain't what up, because like when you saw, I was like, bro, everybody was like, my man is winning. He is winning in life, and then all of a sudden you saw her, brother. You were like, wait,
because it happened with so fast. It was like,
yes, it did.
They was posting with each other on Instagram, and then like 2 weeks later, she posted with Buddy. And they both shirtless, just like on the beach. I'm like, wait. Like, damn, son, life moves pretty fast sometimes. You look around.
You just might miss it. Nice quote, man. Nice quote. The only thing I'll say with Candice LeRae, I love her. I love that she's back. No one can take a beating like Candice LeRae and still make you believe that she can win the match.
God, I'm so glad this is pro wrestling you're talking about.
NXT, her War Games in NXT, her appearances were always awesome. So maybe she's someone who might get involved on the side with Bianca on that team down the road. Maybe Alexa isn't a part of the program here, and it's a Candice LeRae who slides in with Sasha and Naomi for whatever reason, and that's part of that she can become part of the team as well. So I love that they brought her back.
But I think it doesn't. I think it's be too forced because
she's so great in War Games, though, man.
No, I know, I get it. I understand she has the experience of it, but it's like, oh, we just throw Candice LeRae in. That means again, Bliss has to fall out or Asuka. Yo, I want to see what backstage's daycare look like. Because there's so many babies backstage.
True.
So many. But like, then you have like either or Asuka falls off or Bliss, but then it's like you really got to start feeding her in now.
Yeah.
Like immediately. Because we're focusing on Crown Jewel. Well, we're focused on Extreme Rules, excuse me.
Yeah.
Then Crown Jewel. Then that. So it's like everything has to build to that.
Yeah.
Because again, yes, 5-on-5, unless she's taking one of their places. But if she's not, then it's like then only one of the two returns go on the team. And it's going to feel real awkward if it's only Sasha and like, yo, we've been hollering about give Naomi justice. And they're like, well, we can't bring her back. We got Candice LeRae. Like, because you're not going to throw in the bloodline, which everybody was like, do that.
Yeah.
Heel Naomi in the bloodline would be gold.
Fire.
Gold right now.
Fire.
Yeah. Which one is she married to, Jay or
Jay?
So that could work with the Sami Zayn storyline if you were going to go that route. That could absolutely work with the Sami Zayn. That's it.
And especially if he accidentally hugs her and Jay already hates that man. He's like, what's up, Oos?
In kayfabe, Jay flew to Canada just to tell Sami Zayn he couldn't hang out in the locker room.
That's SmackDown. Yeah, exactly.
We'll get there. But
Yeah.
that's what the kayfabe said. I'm gonna fly my ass to another continent, to another country, to tell you that you can't sit with us. That's how much he don't like Sami Zayn.
The man was outside the door. Like, no, I just want to make sure my little brother good. Hey, hold on for a second. Go on in there.
Yeah.
Seats taken.
Like,
Seats taken, right?
You can't Jay.
All right, let's hit some of these super chats before we move on to AEW, and then we'll wrap up with just quick hits on SmackDown and Rampage. Young Boy says, gentlemen, if given the pen, how would you book The Rock's return leading up to this year's Mania? Shout out to Teddy Long, players. All right, let me address the last part of this because this was a big deal this week. Apparently, either Teddy Long's Twitter was hijacked or Teddy Long himself started blocking all kinds of people on in pro wrestling, and people were tweeting out their blocks and they have no idea why Teddy did this. And it got so high in a fever pitch that Pro Wrestling Tees came out with a t-shirt from Teddy Long that has his picture and it says, I just blocked you, player. So this is mind-blowing to me. But yeah, craziness. But yeah, how would you guys book The Rock's return leading up to this year's Mania?
First of all, Black Adam.
I want to, but let me, I want to talk about Teddy Long thing just for a second. First of all, hilarious that whole thing happened. You know what I mean? People posting as badges of honor that they had been blocked by Teddy Long. And then Teddy explains it like, "Oh, I got hijacked. It was somebody who I wouldn't talk to or something in my DMs. He took over." First of all, how do you know that? First of all, I don't believe you. You need more people. I think that you went because I've talked to Teddy and I've tried to book Teddy on podcasts before, and he was like, "I don't do that no more, player." Everybody misconstrues what I said and take me out of context. So I think he had a moment. He probably got mad, and if you had anything to do with wrestling, he was just like block. His Twitter's private already as it is. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, you had a moment, you saw that it trended, and you're like, oh, I can use this as promo. Right? Fine. But hilarious situation. I hope that he does it again.
Let's take a look real quick. There it is. You got blocked, player. I mean, if I had a spare $20, I would buy that fucking shirt immediately.
Someone super chat $20 to John Rocha so he can get to Teddy Long shirt. Show some love.
I got blocked, player.
Come on now.
Get that shirt, man.
And he will wear it
I will.
on the very next episode after it arrives.
Yeah,
I'm gonna make that promise. I'm gonna make that guarantee right here. How would you book The Rock, Jay? I want you to go.
Yeah, Jay, how would you do?
Started off him promoting Black Adam. It has to come because Black Adam is it this? Yes, this month, right?
I think it's November. It's coming in November, I think.
November. He has to come on the show to promote Black Adam.
Yeah.
And Roman has to go past. It just has to be a glance.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, Jay. October 21st. So, yeah.
It's too late.
We're close.
So he's got to be promoting something.
Okay.
Because it makes no sense at this point for Roman to say everything he's been saying, and then now all of a sudden The Rock shows up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's been saying, I make this family. Everybody eats because of me. He's been saying all this. So something has to bring The Rock to TV. Something has to bring The Rock to TV where he has to come on and just say, yo, I was in the area. Like, yo, y'all in Miami. I just want to come out and chill, kick it with y'all because y'all in my home. Finally, The Rock has come back home, blah, 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 blah. He's in the ring. All of a sudden, you're like, oh, what the You hear Roman's music drop. And then everybody plays the whole little, family embrace, the bloodline. He's part of the bloodline. Everybody has the family embrace.
Yeah.
And then Roman says something slick out his mouth. Now acknowledge me. And Rock says, what? He tells, we embrace. Now you acknowledge me. And The Rock gonna look like, excuse me, what? Acknowledge me. What did you just say? It don't matter what you said. And he tell Jimmy and Jay, boy, you run up, I'm gonna whoop your ass. And look at Solo, you better take that bass out your voice, bitch. And then go to Sammy. And if they ain't already whooped Sammy's ass by now, why are you even here?
Who in the blue hell are you?
Who in the blue hell are you to Sammy? And then just let that happen. because you don't need a long buildup. You just need something to spark it.
Yeah.
You need something to spark it real quick, because once it's sparked, we're going to talk about it all the way up until.
I love your idea. I go with Jay's idea. I would just make a little twist where Reigns shows up after The Rock does all this stuff in the ring, and he shows up because, and you think it's going to be this family reunion, and Roman says, "Why didn't you tell me you were coming to my yard,
to my show?
Yeah. You got to respect me and tell me you're not acknowledging the tribal chief." And then we go back to Jay where he's like saying, "Acknowledge me." I think that's the twist there that makes it work.
Yeah,
because The Rock is like, "This is my house, motherfucker," and it's like, not anymore. So, dog. So that could work really well.
You like, I come on whenever. Look, hey, bro, if I feel like sneezing on camera up here, I just walk. I ain't got to even tell nobody I'm showing up. They just be like, "Oh, Dwayne's here." Like, I don't even. They be like, he just pulled up in the parking lot. They was like, he ain't even got his work ID no more. You know who the fuck he is? Just like some big ass pickup truck just then pulled into the load area, and The Rock just jumped out. He wasn't on the list. Does he need to be? There are 3 people right now who can walk in the back of whatever arena they are in without a second guess. The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and The Undertaker. They can walk in whenever they want. Yeah. Who goes stop? I want to see the first security guard and be like, hey, I can't let you in here, fam. Do you understand how quick they'll be fired?
Yeah.
Like, you ain't on the list.
I would add John Cena, but then again, how would they see him? Anyway, moving on.
All right, Orlando Rego says, "I agree with Jay that if it's not Bray, then the fans will turn on it. We will see how it goes, but I like the White Rabbit stuff. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see if the White Rabbit stuff happens, what it leads to, and if it is Wyndham or not, or another version of Bray Wyatt." John Alexander says, "I can't help but laugh every time I see Alexa Bliss come out for a save. She is so unintimidating. I would rather see Asuka team up with Gilbert." Whoa!
Hilarious.
Whoa!
That's just disrespectful.
John.
This raises questions in my head, though. I had 2 things about Bray. Do you guys think, because at live shows, I've seen reports that every time they do the White Rabbit thing, at like house shows,
it goes red.
Alexa Bliss is the next wrestler that comes to the ring.
Oh, interesting.
Like they're doing like a very subtle thing where it's like White Rabbit. Okay, what is that? This is spooky. This is weird. And then Bliss is the next person to come to the ring.
Wow.
So they're not outright acknowledging anything.
Right.
But if you remember, she's the reason that the Fiend is gone.
Right.
So what did I tell y'all weeks ago? Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, that's right. You did say that.
Maybe. I mean, look, she still carries the doll around.
Yeah.
You're supposed to understand that the doll is possessed. Could it be that the doll is possessed by Bray Wyatt? Maybe. Also, do you bring his brother in? Do you bring Bo Dallas in for this new iteration of him?
What if the White Rabbit is Bo Dallas? What if it's just Bo Dallas?
His last name's Wyndham. His last name's Wyndham.
No, it's Rotunda. His last name's Wyndham is
well, he is a Wyndham.
He is, yeah, but yeah.
In a way. They're all
his
brother.
His brother. What if it's all just Bo leave?
Oh my God.
I would pop harder than every beautiful Latin woman that I saw last night at Bad Bunny if that happened. Only for the backlash.
Bo leave. I'd be like, yeah.
People would go insane. People would be so mad.
Fabulous.
People would be so mad. So mad.
And that made me think of the Nikki Cross thing too, just real quick. Do you guys think that they bring back Eric and the rest for sanity since she's going to go back into Nikki Cross?
Isn't Eric over in Impact right now doing his thing?
Yeah.
Jay, you know better than I do that if WWE calls you and you working for Impact,
I gotta go. Hey, you be getting ready.
My
contract
are in the car. Right?
Hey, look, you be on the way to the ring. You checking your phone. All of a sudden, you see a message Triple H. Hey, hold on for my music. Hey, I gotta go. What's up? I got a contract. Yeah, with us. Not like this.
Tell him I gotta go. Tell him I can't make it.
I'll pay you out of my first paycheck. That's not a problem. Oh man, that would be funny. But put some respect, John Alexander, on Alexa Bliss's name. That's a multi-time champion you're talking about, one of the best female wrestlers ever. I will not have you denigrate Alexa Bliss on this goddamn show. Black Cinema Critic says Mercedes is not coming back. I bet $100 to all y'all. No, you're not making money off of me, Black Cinema Critic. Make your own money. But it's possible she's not coming back. We don't know. But it seems like
what do you mean? She's definitely the only thing they would have to make her a star of a Star Wars movie right now would be the only thing that would stop her from coming back.
Fair enough. I can't see that happening. SJC36 says, "Get your shirt, player." I think he was trying to say player there with plays. Thank you very much, SJC360. Now about the shipping, so maybe another $20, then we'll cover.
I got a bitch. Hey, we had to go here. Now, see, we got a little bit more.
So you include sales tax, that's 8%.
Come on now. Come on, player. Justin Toner says, it says Streamlabs. Thank you, Justin. He says, hi, guys. I was very happy to see Candace come to the main roster on Raw. The women's division on Raw is so stacked now with her, and you have people out injured like Zelina, Carmella, and Becky Lynch still to come back. So look forward to their return to the ring. You're right. I mean, when you saw what happened on AEW, which we're about to get to here, you compare those two female rosters, it's not even remotely comparable, in my opinion, when you're looking at that situation. So, yeah, it's a good point. I mean, when the best players are sitting on the sideline, or some of your best players sitting on the sideline, but your team is still performing like the Cowboys seem to be doing, that speaks volumes about the roster strength you have. So,
did you just gingerly shit on the Cowboys?
Say
real quick. I mean, he did it so easily, just like the Cowboys are doing. Whoa.
Cooper Rush, man, he's going to destroy my Commanders tomorrow. All right. He says, I won't go at Alexa if you stop throwing shade at Mandy. Mandy? NXT champion Mandy? Get the fuck out of here. All right, let's
it's Mandy, baby. That's all I want to hear again. It's Mandy. Remember the gold Mandy Rose?
Oh yeah.
It's Mandy.
All right, let's move on to AEW. Well, we did the White Rabbits. I think we've talked about that, right? I think we can move on to AEW.
We didn't really fully. I mean, yeah. They did you didn't talk about the clues.
Oh yeah, right. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about it, Jay?
I mean, no, this is you.
Okay,
yeah. Drive your show.
So Fightful Select reports that the belief within WWE is that the White Rabbit is for Wyatt. Also, the reveal is supposed to happen at next Saturday's Extreme Rules event. So a week from today, it's supposed to be revealed once this comes out. Sean Ross Sapp for Fightful said those in the know claimed that WWE Extreme Rules was supposed to be the reveal of the White Rabbit. We were not told if the person portraying would be there physically or not. Fans have noticed hints by WWE about Wyatt popping up at Extreme Rules already, as some of the match graphics have a lantern hanging in the top left corner, a synonymous object used by Wyatt since he created the Wyatt family. So we've talked about it. There's QR codes that have been going around as well. So, we've kind of hit it. Do you guys think that's even more indication that it's going to be Wyatt and all of that?
Shouts out to Al Snow coming back, man. I appreciate you. What does everybody want? Head. Hey,
Al Snow making a dummy's head work. Shout out to Al.
The WWE clearly they've licensed Jefferson Airplane. They've licensed it clearly because there's no way they can keep playing it because they gotta let it. And it's smart. We only play it during commercial breaks and dark shows right now, just so we can get the fans like, wait, what is happening?
Yeah,
and they know Triple H is in the know. Triple H knows it's gonna go here. It's gonna go viral.
Mm-hmm.
He knows it. He ain't got to put it. You ain't got to put it on Raw SmackDown yet.
Right.
Let it go viral. And then the whole song starts to play. And then all of a sudden, the song plays on Raw or SmackDown or Extreme Rules. But the question is, what match does he debut at?
Yeah. That's a good question. Which match does he? What do you think about all this, Chris?
I mean, I'm just as interested as you guys are. I'm just not like I'm looking at the card for Extreme Rules.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like a place to really do it.
It's not a big enough pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Premium live event.
Premium live event.
Get your wordings right. Jesus, John.
It is not Amazon Prime. It is Prime Video. Please say it correctly. All right. Yes. Go ahead.
So I'm going to be looking very closely at this week's go home shows to see what matches are set up. If there is an Alexa Bliss match added, if there's a Braun Strowman, who does someone that he has history with that might be participating in the premium live event, that would make sense for him to debut. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
What if he beats the shit out of Matt Riddle?
But then you divert him away from Rollins. It doesn't.
That's
make
true.
sense. That's got to play out first. All right, let's move on.
Well, what if Triple H welcomes us to Extreme Rules and then Jefferson Airplane starts playing?
Oh, that's the way. Maybe that's the way you do it.
Hey, you ain't got to kick off with a hot. Well, first of all, look, you want to kick it off with a hot match, but can you imagine being the match that has to follow that?
I know.
So look, we're gonna bring this gasoline out, okay? That's the spot. When you bring out the gasoline, I'm gonna bring out the taser. And so because that's the only way, if that opens the show, if something like that opens the show, that is gonna be a big pop.
Yeah.
I mean, look, remember when CM Punk's return popped the show at the opening of the show? It's like the rest of the show has to follow it. And luckily, all of the matches at Extreme Rules are relatively extreme matches.
Yeah. Well, last night's QR code from SmackDown led people to a video that showed images of a 1933 Three Little Pigs cartoon from Disney. How the fuck they got the rights from that? I'd have to figure that out. With various pig-related images and the images of a big bad wolf. The video also included a Morse code message, which translates to Azazel Reborn, Azazel. The QR code was shown on Karrion Kross.
The devil, the demon.
Yeah, during his pre-recorded promo. There you go.
Hey, what if it's Finn Balor the whole time as the demon?
Oh,
what if the White Rabbit has been within Judgment Day?
Yeah,
Kane is coming back, guys.
Oh God, no. I feel like Steve Carell. No, God, no.
Kane comes back. I'm running again for Mayor Knox County, the demon from hell, and get all these immigrants out. What? Whoa.
There was also a White Rabbit graphic that included the message TS_S10E6, which appears to be related to season 10, episode 6 of The Simpsons, which includes the White Rabbit song from Jefferson Airplane that has been playing at arenas for several weeks now. The graphic also included a phone number, 855-489-5099, which plays a message backwards. Bravo, Echo, Lima, Alpha, India, Romero, I am the way in the city of woe. I am the way into eternal sorrow. Belair.
Bringing back Mordecai. Man, oh, my God. They are bringing back Mordecai. Holy Jesus. He was in all white.
Yeah.
I am the way to truth. He was technically a demon.
This is massive. Now.
It's Mordecai. You imbeciles. They are bringing back Mordecai.
They spent several $1,000s to license this song.
It's true.
For Mordecai, guys.
Mordecai.
Well, this and the of course, Bravo, Echo, Lima, Alpha, India, Romero spell out Belair, which is the last name of Bianca, obviously, who's the women's champion, the Raw Women's Champion. But the latter part of the message is a quote from Italian Middle Ages writer, poet, and philosopher Dante Alighieri from Dante's Inferno. So certainly the images are all here, the devil, the demon, as you were saying, Jay. And finally, a sign was shown in the crowd behind Michael Cole and Corey Graves, which said, revel in what you are, which is the same message that Bray Wyatt tweeted on October 27, 2019, in response to a piece of the Fiend art done by WWE artist Rob Schamberger. The man who brought the sign into view was wearing a Winnipeg t-shirt and appeared to nod at security so they could let him through. So there was certainly a part of this thing. So, man, they are really leaning into this thing. I hope it all works out because this is the biggest push for Bray Wyatt ever, man.
Don't you love WWE's pettiness, though, where it's like, oh, you got a big dude who power bombs guys? I'm going to bring the biggest fucking dude to power bomb people. Oh, MJF is the devil? Watch this shit. your stupid, horrible clown mask at All Out. Oh, no. We're going to go a viral campaign with goddamn Morse code and backwards songs. And like, we going to really show you what it is.
But also, I think, too, on top of that, the diehard wrestling fans have caught on who it is, who it's for. Right. But remember, Triple H he's getting you, but he's about making new fans. New people who have no idea what's going on are getting into this whole scavenger hunt, if you will, to the end of the line and be like, who is dude? Yo, can you block this black cinema critic dude? Like, dude is annoying. I know he keeps sending super shit.
He's just mad that he's not hosting the show. That's all right.
Okay, we can say that.
You get used to it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. But it's like the new people who don't know wrestling, who don't know the WWE like that. Because remember, we talked about it last week. They're always about evolving for new generations with new talent. And that's what this whole thing is. Look, we all are like, man, if this ain't Bray Wyatt or somebody else, I'm sorry for you because you are in the worst position in history.
Yeah. True.
But when new people are just like, oh my God, what's happening?
Yeah. I'm not going to read your super chat, Black Cinema Critics, so people can see it in the chat, though. All right, let's move on to AEW. Let's hit this thing real quick and give the results, and then we'll get thoughts. And I know we're almost close to the end of the show, so we'll get it through quick. Chris Jericho had a Ring of Honor title defense versus took on Bandito, coming in from the Forbidden Door there. There was also Jericho Appreciation Society opening up there with everybody standing out there in purple suits and eating pizza, which is, of course, a joke because all those people are in fantastic shape. They haven't eaten a pizza in 10 years. Brian Garcia is there, and he is not happy. He gets a bucket hat from Chris Jericho to try to kind of convince him to get back in the fold. He starts to threaten him about which side of the fence he's going to be on, and then Bryan Danielson comes out, ruins the whole celebration, and then Jericho declares war on Ring of Honor, says the Ring of Jericho era has begun. He's going to destroy the legacy of Ring of Honor, challenges Danielson to an October 12th Dynamite show in Toronto, Canada, a match there. Then Saraya comes out, speaks, and talks about, and really kind of repeats segments of promos that she's done in the WWE multiple times. It was really weird. And then Britt Baker came out, interrupted, and they were trash talking to each other. Britt Baker insulting her neck. Saraya coming back saying her name rhymes with shit. And this all sets up the fact that there's going to be a lumberjack, or she turns the match between Toni Storm and Serena Deeb into a lumberjack match. Then Darby Allin is announced versus Jay Lethal for next week. The Acclaim will celebrate National Scissoring Day next week on Dynamite. Keith Lee strolled in with an issue over Billy Gunn's physical interference that led to them Swerve in Our Glory losing the title belts. Private Party were arguing with Butcher and Blade with Andrade in the middle for some reason. Then Ricky Starks defeated Eli Isom. I don't even know how to say his name. John Moxley was in non-title action and took on and defeated Juice Robinson, who was also walking through the Forbidden Door. And as Mox celebrated his victory, Hangman Page came out. They stared down and almost kissed. And then MJF yelled at them from the stands and got beat up by Wheeler Yuta and thrown into the stands there in Philadelphia. So big stuff there for AEW. Jay, or Chris, I go to you first on this because Jay was first on Raw. Chris, what's your thoughts on AEW Dynamite here?
I thought this show, I don't know. It was this episode didn't really do it for me.
Yeah, it was weird.
I really like the Jericho story.
Sure.
I gotta say, man, I've said this before.
Yeah.
There is an argument for Jericho being the GOAT. There really is. And it's annoying.
I know.
Like, it's irritating because every time, because there's things about Jericho to really not like.
I know.
You know what I mean? The whole sort of being a vampire and feasting on the pushes of the young talent. You know what I'm saying? And you know how just like silly he can be at times, and then how like annoying he can be in interviews at times too, when he's like, you know, putting on his cape for AEW and such. But this is such a good story. Yeah. And it's simple, makes all the sense in the world. It's going to help get Daniel Garcia more over. It's going to put a spotlight on Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
If you think about it, they're doing exactly what they did with AEW. Who's the biggest star we can give the first title reign to? I get. Granted, Claudio was the first, quote unquote, but obviously that wasn't working out. So they're like, because it's TV time, baby. They need a TV deal. They need to launch a weekly show. Who's the biggest name we could give this belt to usher in that era of Ring of Honor?
Yeah.
Chris Jericho. Makes all the sense in the world. Sponsors know him. Network execs know him.
Yep.
Everybody knows him. He's the champion. Well, why is Ring of Honor different? Why does it matter? Why is it not AEW? Oh, because it has this whole set of standards that it's supposed to exist by. And so how do you tell that story? By making the champion say, I'm going to piss all over all of that. And I'm going to beat everybody who ever meant anything to this. And what a stroke of genius to invite the commentator in just to Judas effect him. Like, I mean, and it was Judas effective for all my Pokemon players out there. But anyway, also, it was just stop it, Jay. And it's just
but it gives Jericho something to do too. If you're going to pull him off the main titles of AEW, great, give him the Ring of Honor title, and then he's fighting all these fantastic wrestlers, and you're giving them a showcase against Jericho and seeing if any of them get over to see if you want to bring. Because Bandito was offered a full-time contract this week.
That's what I was about to get to.
Yeah, sorry.
Bandito. I don't know how many of y'all have seen Bandito before.
That was a good match.
I have been screaming to the rafters about this guy for years now. He made an appearance, didn't he? Wasn't he at the first All Out?
He was at the first. He was in that rushed ass 6-man that had to hurry up and go home.
That's right. And I think he was subbed in for somebody in that match too.
Yeah, because he tagged. It was with him, Rey Mysterio, and I forgot who the third person was.
Right.
Yeah, somebody. So that wasn't a great representation of Bandito. This dude, I've seen him at PWG. I've seen him in Ring of Honor. I've seen him at various indie things.
Yeah.
This dude is special.
It is. He is.
Special in a way that, like, Rey Fenix is phenomenal. But there's something missing from Fenix.
Yeah.
Not from Bandito. Bandito is... I mean, he's just, like I say, he's just special. And I'm so glad that he got this showcase because it was like, dude, if you don't know who this is, now you got a reason to know. And then getting over with just spots that aren't that complicated move-wise. The stalling suplex that took almost a minute. Like, come on, dog. And then he's holding him with one hand at certain points. Dude knows how to get over, man. And also he's incredibly athletic, incredibly talented, charismatic. He's really the whole package. I've been saying forever, everyone's been trying to go after this Latino market. Who can we get? It started with Alberto Del Rio. Yeah. And ever since then, they're just like, how do we replace Eddie Guerrero's connection to that audience? And they've tried with so many different people. Yeah. Bandito could get it done. I'm letting you know what it is right now. Okay. He's the man. So perfect person to start this whole situation with, I think. And then him being protected in the loss where his mask gets freaking turned around. Yeah. And what a better way to have somebody tap out if, like, I don't know where the rope is. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I can't even, like, there's nothing I can do. I have to tap out so you don't look weak in a submission. Great booking, great agenting. Just a great segment. Yeah. The rest of the show, Saraya, can you wrestle? I don't know. I don't care what this interaction is if you can't wrestle.
I don't think she's going to wrestle. It sounds to me like she was going to come on and be essentially the general manager of the women's division. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, because if she was going to wrestle, Britt Baker would have attacked her.
Yes. With Jamie Hayter.
With Jamie Hayter. Waste of my time. Yeah. You're not Piper, who's going to get segments over without wrestling. Yeah. I love you, Saraya. I really do. I'm a big fan. Not for reasons you may think, but I'm a big fan. I just don't. No. You need to wrestle if it's going to be impactful. I'm sorry. It just is what it is. Yeah. I'm done already with the Keith Lee Gun Club. I don't care. You guys shouldn't have. You guys had a nice little run as the champions. You shouldn't have been the champions anyway. I don't care about what's going on with this. I don't. Can we get Keith Lee a meaningful singles feud
Yeah.
Or have him fight Swerve. Something. Oh my God. Private
Or let
Party.
him go to
Why are we-
WWE. Or let him go.
Right.
He
Why are we
wants.
revisiting Private Party Matt Hardy? No one gave a shit when they got
dude.
together the first time. And now they're like courting, like we're getting the band back together. What? A faction that no one.
Yeah, they don't need to bring back Matt Hardy right now. With all the WWE is looking progressive and ahead of the curve, and they're bringing in the talent from NXT that's still in their prime. Bringing back Matt Hardy is a fucking mistake and a half.
Matt Hardy makes it hard for you to watch him walk.
Yeah.
No, it's real. It's absolutely real. Yeah. So yeah, it was just the rest of the show is just like what are you doing, Ricky Starks?
Yeah,
like the man. Come on, dog. You can't find something meaningful for Ricky Starks.
Yeah,
like what? That was a waste of time.
Yeah.
As much as look, Juice Robinson, Bullet Club, my Bullet Club brother, but another one where it's just like no real setup to this. It's a non-title match.
Mox did not make that work, man, and that ending was clumsy, awkward.
Totally,
I was gonna fall off and sit flat-footed on his ass. I was like, what? That makes
I'm
no
Juice
sense.
Robinson. I'm pissed. I'm like, dog, come on. This is my first match in AEW. My woman's in the back, bro. Like, Tony's watching. Like, you gonna just have me out here not doing that? Like, come on, dog. That's what we're out.
Yeah.
And then as predicted, out comes Hangman for the stare down with Moxley.
Yeah, man. I mean, they chanted outlaw shit, and then they were quiet. Yeah.
Nah, that segment needed some blue chew because that was limp AF. You understand what I'm saying? Like I couldn't even. I couldn't care less about the rest of the show after the Jericho.
And I think that's why they brought in MJF afterwards, Chris, because they knew.
Yeah.
They probably sensed the crowd was not going to be into this confrontation. They've seen online the social media reactions to Hangman Page winning that tournament to get into a position, or winning that match to get in the position to face Mox. And so, boom, you throw in the wild card that is MJF, and because that people aren't going to respond to it as strongly. So they tried to save that, but in the end, I agree with you. It doesn't really work. Jay, what do you think of AEW overall?
You can keep trying to save all you want. The fact is, Tony Khan has put himself into a corner.
Yeah,
you put yourself into a corner. You again, I said it last week, and I've said it to anybody I've talked about wrestling. He was good when Vince was still running WWE, because everybody was like, "Oh, here we go. Let's just go to AEW."
Right,
and everybody was like, "Yeah, cool." But then I told you this a while ago, Rocha. The honeymoon has ended.
Yeah,
the honeymoon has ended.
Yeah. It's a shame.
So now you got a dude who's sitting here does not know how to book wrestling.
Yeah.
He does not. But his ego won't let somebody else be the booker.
Yeah.
And that's why you get the bullshit you get. Private Party had potential. You took Private Party's momentum and shifted it to the Acclaim.
Yeah.
You shifted it to the Acclaim. Now they taking it through the moon. Keith Lee, don't nobody care about. Why? Because AEW doesn't care about big guys.
Yeah.
Where's Lance Archer?
Yeah.
AEW doesn't care about big guys. So we automatically know if it's not, again, it's a giant indie show with a TV deal. But the problem is you're still running it like a full-ass indie show. Saraya is pointless. I knew it. Clearly you can tell she cannot wrestle.
She's in the wrong sandbox, dude. It's so obvious. I'm not saying AEW is shit. I'm not saying that. I've enjoyed a lot of AEW, but I agree with you, Jay. She don't belong there, man. It doesn't work. It's weird. It's like when Julia Roberts got with Lyle Lovett. You're like, why the fuck is this happening? This makes no sense.
None. So her being there, like I said, Britt Baker just talking shit. You got Jamie Hayter. You jump her. You don't jump her if you can't. Because if you're going to jump her, because if you want people to think, oh, she might wrestle, get her jumped. Yeah. That's all you got to do is have her get jumped. But you let everybody know instantly she can't wrestle. And then you're doing all this other stuff. The title situation, no one cares. I said it when they gave that man that chip at All Out. Y'all finna drag out this MJF shit unnecessarily.
Yeah.
Just go and put the title on him and get it over with.
But now AEW's put themselves in a place. Oh, MJF gets the belt. Then what?
Then what?
Right.
Because that's another part. Then what? Because
Then
what is it?
Everybody's in the main event scene.
Yeah.
Who is it? Hangman? Who is it? Hangman Page versus MJF? Nobody cares.
Right.
Everybody that your champ faces, that's the one thing recently with Roman. You kind of have a vested interest in his matches. Some of us thought Drew McIntyre was going to win.
Yeah.
Anybody you see MJF get this belt, the only person you might want to see, and then it don't matter, is Wardlow, because you ain't even using him right with the belt you gave him.
Yeah. I mean, as soon as they gave him the belt, it seems like nothing has happened.
So it's like, again, Tony Khan needs to let somebody who understands long-term booking book this show and stop being that guy. You don't need to be the Mark Cuban of professional wrestling. You don't need to be in front of the camera and on screen every single time something happens with your team. Yeah. Stay in the back, sign checks, sign talent. Let somebody else book this show.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I had a hard time watching Dynamite this week. It's been a while since I felt that way. And I was just kind of slogging through. And I love Saraya, a.k.a. Paige. I love her. I met her. We got Ryan and Christian got to interview her. I got to talk with her for a few minutes. Sweetheart of a lady. Totally respect all the stuff she's been through and the terrible injury. Love Fighting with My Family as a movie about her journey. But in the end, she was so out of place. It's beneath her. And I know people get mad at me saying that, but I think it's beneath her. She doesn't belong in AEW. It's like holding on. Why are you holding on? Go and explore other things. Go and do other projects. Look at Mercedes Varnado. She's off doing her thing. Go and do your thing. You're a name. You've got millions of followers. You don't need to be back trying to be a tent pole holding up this tent. It just doesn't make any sense. So for me, it was rough to watch. And Hater and Britt Baker got lost in the promo battle too. Like she initially started out, but as soon as she said her name is shit, Tony, you and I, and it just was like, oh my God, fuck. So give Hater the mic. Let's find out what we got in Hater. Let her turn on fucking Britt, and let's see what we got here. And then you've got Tony Storm versus Jamie Hater with a push. That could be super interesting. And then you've got Jamie Hater taking on Britt Baker for the fucking belt. This could all be very interesting if you make the move to Hater and see what you got. Go with the young people right now and see what you got. Shake things up. Serena Deeb, no offense. I know she's a legend and been doing it a long. She's earned her place. Absolutely. Nobody was fucking excited for Tony Storm versus Serena Deeb. Nobody. So you've got to do something here to shake it up, in my opinion. The MJF stuff, I agree with you, Chris. What's going to happen once he wins the belt? It's not going to fucking matter unless you've got people lined up. Unless Punk comes back, it's really not going to or Wardlow. It ain't going to fucking matter. It's not going to be as great as you think. Or Daniel Bryan, if you work the Daniel Bryan MJF storyline, then that could be interesting as a face taking on the ultimate heel. Two incredible wrestlers going at it for like 60-minute, 30-minute matches. Sure, but I don't know if you can make that work.
Yeah, overall. but if you put it on, if you do the Danielson thing, how long do people just don't care?
You're right. I know. That's what I'm saying. How long can you keep that program going? I don't know.
They've beaten Danielson too many times.
They've beaten him too many times already.
Fair point.
Yeah.
Again, everybody that you're supposed to build up, like Chris said, everybody you were supposed to build up. Brian Danielson came in. We were like, oh shit, he might get it against Kenny Omega. Oh no, he's not gonna win it once. Oh, maybe the next time. Oh, not again. Okay, all righty. Everybody, Kenny Omega. After a while, you're not gonna care.
Right.
You're not gonna care. They haven't made anybody vested. Again, I hate to compare apples and oranges in two companies, but like when I talked about WWE, you have 4 to 5 different people right now in the title picture that aren't even at the title right now that it's going to come their way and you're waiting on it.
Absolutely. 100%.
You're waiting on KO. You're waiting on Killer Cross. Drew McIntyre coming back around. Randy Orton, if he can do it. If not, it's going to be Riddle. Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes. You see all these people. Can you say that with MJF? Because Moxley only holding this for a minute. He's not the champ. Yes, he's the champ, but he ain't holding it to be holding it.
Yeah. I agree. 100%. Let's hit some quick hits before we wrap up here. I know we got to get on with our days real quick. Just dropping this. El Idolo, apparently after the situation in Rampage, must leave AEW if he loses next week. I don't know why you do that. And Roosh has signed a full-time deal with AEW. I think that's a great pickup to get him full-time. Now let's see the push and get him onto Dynamite instead of on Rampage, which no one is watching, and get a more highlight on him for sure. So, and then on SmackDown, it was McIntyre, Gargano, and Owens united to put Theory to the test in this, which was kind of a boring match with McIntyre and the Panda Express taking on Austin Theory and Alpha Academy. Sikoa and Sami Zayn defeated Ricochet and Madcap Moss. Jey Uso, as you guys said, confronted Sami Zayn. Max Dupree, it seems like this is the thing to talk. He's leaving the Maximum Male Models. It seems like they're setting that up pretty big. Hit Row defeated Los Lotharios. Ronda Rousey defeated Natalya via submission. No surprise there, with Morgan coming out on the ramp to supposedly
that was a terrible match, by the way.
Ronda, yeah, it was a bad match. Imperium defeated Sheamus and beat down Sheamus rather ahead of his match with Gunther. Then Bayley defeated Shotzi Blackheart, who, by the way, they have apparently been bringing her tank to these events, but they haven't let her come out in it. So I don't know what.
She came out last night.
Oh, she came out. All right, I'm sorry.
She came out on it last night.
They finally let her come out, is what I'm trying to say. So I'm glad they finally did that. So yeah. All right. Well, quick thoughts, gentlemen. I know
I'm not into Maximum Male Models. If they keep up these kind of shenanigans, I'm all in. I loved the long pose situation.
Oh my God.
Look, WWE proved with Breezango
they
can do comedy.
It's true.
If done right. They can do comedy.
Yeah.
If done right. So if that's the team that Maximum Male Models becomes, I'm totally fine with it.
Okay.
Because you need a variety show. Like you said, you need, the long 20-minute technical spectacles. You need the high flyers. You need the comedy wrestling. You need the giants coming in, squashing people. You need it all. So I'm fine with it. I get that it's goofy, but come on. He got rid of the 24/7 title. We haven't seen that nonsense in a long time. There's a lot of goofiness that he got rid of, but comedy is different. Comedy isn't goofiness necessarily. So let it happen. It was fun. It was fine. Even Kevin Owens coming through being like, oh, you guys need to adjust a little bit.
You might want to hold your hand up a little bit if you want to pose.
Like, come on. That's good shit. That's good shit.
Jay, any thoughts on all this stuff?
Look, Ronda Rousey is terrible. And I can say that. And people, there's no more of this. You got to give her time shit. We're past that.
Oh, no, we're past that.
That match was so bad. And then her post-match interaction with Liv. I'm not supposed to hear you calling your spots, Ronda. She gives her the Piper's Pit on the mat. You hear Ronda go, hey, are you okay? Like, yo, I know what the game is. There's a reason we call this the art of illusion.
Yeah.
The match with Natalya was sloppy.
Yeah.
If you don't want to be here anymore at this point, just don't.
Yeah.
Just don't. You get the situation. Look, Gargano right now, he's trying to get his footing. And I hope Triple H loves him, and I hope this is not a bad thing because he's trying to push him, and some people are going to be like, hold on, sir. Hold on for a second. Because it's like he's in all these places. And again, I just need him in that Austin Theory thing. Keep them right there. Boom. Alpha Academy, you said it last week, Chris. Hey, can somebody tell Otis to sell? Can somebody tell Otis to act like he enjoys being here? Can somebody talk to Otis? That's what it's like.
Yeah.
He's a parking cone, that guy.
Haskell saying Ronda pulling a Cena, calling the spots way too loudly. There you go. Yeah, I mean, the whole thing with Liv and Ronda is such a wet fart. I really just absolute waste. And Liv coming out trying to prove that she's extreme. Liv coming out at the top of who is intimidated by Liv? It just is so ridiculous. And to her credit, she's trying to fight back and push back, and said this week that the boos that she's been getting, she thinks of John Cena and how John Cena got the cheers and the boos. And you can look at it and go like, really, you're comparing it to John Cena? But I can understand what she's trying to do, which is try to turn the narrative around on this and try to get people back on her side. And she said a reaction is a reaction, and that's a good thing. That's what you want as a pro wrestler. Yes, but you want the right reaction, right? Not just any reaction. You've got to be aware of that. And I think more and more fans are turning on her the more they try to make her seem something that she isn't. And I think that's going to end up blowing up in their face. And I also think they have no one to give the belt to. They don't think they want to give it to Ronda. I don't know where they would go with the belts if they wanted to give it to someone else.
Trying to figure out when Charlotte coming back. They just wait on Charlotte. They literally dragging this out to Charlotte say, all right, I'm back. Let's do this.
Yeah.
I say merge the women's belt.
Ooh.
How's it one men's world champion and there's still 2 women's world champions? Like,
I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah. Merge it.
Yeah, but now, look, you can't merge that belt right now with Bianca Belair versus Liv Morgan.
Not to say it. But think about the promos from Bayley if she becomes the first ever merged women's champion.
Oh yeah.
Well, not first ever. Becky did it, but
Becky's too. Yeah.
Think about those promos of Bayley talking her shit with
technically speaking, Becky Lynch was the Raw Women's Champion and the SmackDown Women's Champion at the same time. A merged one would be the WWE Undisputed Women's Champion.
Right, which is something else.
Would be a different title that Bayley would hold. And with her holding all these records that she does hold as a woman, because her match with Bianca now is the first ever one-on-one women's ladder match.
Yeah.
So it would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, she's the GOAT.
So
and,
I just wanted to help defend your favorite, Chris, because I know where you and Bayley stand.
Yeah. I just know that she clearly does her squats, so she can hold both belts. No problem.
Oh my God!
You know what I'm saying? Like it's just made for her. It really is.
Jay, this motherfucker didn't even know she was Latina until 3 weeks ago. So don't let his love.
I'm gonna be real. Here's the thing: if I didn't know 2 years ago, and I think it was a Latin Hispanic Heritage Month, that was the only way I found. Because she doesn't have. She's not. You're like she could be, but is she? Yeah. And then you realize her last name, and you're like, oh, okay. Okay, because
so's Rollins, by the way. Rollins is Latino as well.
Yeah, Kobe Lopez.
That's right.
Kobe Lopez?
Becky knew what section in the store to shop. She knew. Orlando Orego said Andrade did post some tweet about free him, so maybe he will lose next week, but we will see what happens.
Andrade loses, and your new number 1 contender out of nowhere becomes Brian Cage.
Oh, I know. Oh, Lord.
Wow. Shit. No, thanks. All right, let's wrap it up there. Thank you all so much for joining us. Sorry we went a couple of minutes over our normal time. We appreciate you hanging out with us. Thanks for the Streamlabs and the Super Chats. Thanks big time to Jay Washington, who joined us as a guest yet again here on Strong Style. Jay, please tell them where they can find you and everything you have going on, my man.
Thank you guys for having me. Much appreciated again. It's always fun talking wrestling with y'all. Again, I told Rocha last week, all you gotta do is text me, and if I'm able to do it, I'll do it. And he did, and I'm here. And then I was like, I probably should be asleep. But nonetheless, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at Mr. J Washington, MRJAY. You should know how to spell Washington. It's right down below. The Mad Titan Podcast, everywhere you get your podcast from, and get you caught up on all the things happening in the Marvel and DC live action cinematic universes. It's Barbershop Talk for Nerds. Come on in the convo. American Gigolo every Friday. If you're streaming Sunday on Showtime, Luther will be back in the season finale, episode 8. So continue to watch the story of Julian K as he goes through his transformation of trying to be back a hoe in these streets. I found out last night that somebody else we'll talk about off the air is back in the streets. My stand-up schedule, if you want to see that, follow me on Instagram. I'm all over the city doing shows and everything. I think that is all for now. But again, thank y'all.
You got a bar to run. He's got to take a few episodes off. He's got a bar to run.
It's a restaurant. He runs a restaurant.
Find a restaurant. Yeah, I mean, whatever. You serve liquor. And Chris Burns, thanks again, brother, man. Chris, where can they find you and everything you got going on, man?
Follow me at the handles on social. At Chris_please. I always got a ton of stuff going on. Mainly just follow what Jay's doing and get washed, everybody.
I'm going to beat you in the streets. I swear to God, if I run into you within the next 48 hours.
That might be our new Strong Style shirt. Get washed. All right, y'all. You can follow me at Rocha Says on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, the Outlaw Nation on Twitch. Please remember to subscribe down below and hit that like button. Hit the like button right now and hit that bell button so you see when we're dropping all the content we do. Y'all take care of yourselves. Have a great weekend. Get ready for Extreme Rules next weekend, and we'll talk to you next time with another brand new Strong Style episode live on Saturday next week. Peace.